So, do you want to be used by God or not? Do you want to be used? Family, what's happening? It's 6:30 Thursday. Time to get a little shopper. What's happening with you? Hope you're doing well, having a great week so far. Yeah, we back at it again. Time to make it do what it do. And yes, as usual, I'm excited to be here. I absolutely am because I'm excited about Genesis chapter 40, which is what we're going to dive in today. And eventually, my wife is going to be joining us on here as well. But hey, I'm really excited about chapter 40. And I'm really hoping that it's a blessing to you. But let me go ahead before I get going because I'm excited about this. Let me get my wife on here. Mama Jane, hey, love you. Let me see. Let me get my wife on here. Uh, if I can hit the right button, you would think I know what to do by now, right? There we go. She's invited. So, uh-oh. Yo, uh-oh. Hold on. Here we go. There we go. Here we go. There we go. I had to hit the
Here
right button.
I
So
am.
there you go. There's my wife right there. There she go. Even though I can't see her, I still got the same situation where I can hear you. I know you're there. Everybody else can see you. I can't see you on my phone right now, but it's all good. I know what you look like. So, what's up, baby? You want to say hi to everybody?
Hello, everyone.
So we're gonna get in chapter 40. I'm excited about this chapter. It's been on my mind all week, and I hopefully something is said today that's going to bless you. And really, I'm excited about chapter 40 because I'm really hoping and praying that chapter 40 would meet you where you at. You might have been dealing with some stuff don't make sense. You're struggling with some things. You just can't wrap your mind around what is going on. Hey Marie, hope you're doing well. And I'm just really hoping and praying that what we talk about tonight in chapter 40, you will be able to connect the dots in what's going on in your life and that you be blessed and that you be encouraged to continue to push. I asked the question, do you really want to be used by God? Do you want to be used by God or not? Okay. It is a choice. It is a choice. It's a choice that you can make. But we're going to get deeper into that because I'm about to get excited even more. So let me slow down and let's get started to do what we already do. All right, let's do what we're supposed to do, right? All right, you ready, babe? On
Yes.
the count of three, let's go. Ready? One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three. All right. I probably need that anyway to slow myself down because I'm excited. I'm excited about chapter 40. And man, I'm just praying that you get something out of what's said tonight. But just understand you being used by God has nothing to do with you per se. And let me help you understand what I'm saying by that. It does not matter what you look like. It don't matter where you're at. It don't matter how old you are. It don't matter how wide you are. It don't matter how small you are, how tall you are, how short you are. It don't matter what size shoe you wear. It don't matter if how much weight you can lift. It don't matter how much education you got. It don't matter none about your skin color. It don't matter about none about your family history and what didn't happen and what didn't happen. It don't matter how much money you get. None of that matters. Keep filling in the dots. Keep filling in the blanks. None of that matters. It's all about your heart. And if you really want God to use you, it's a matter of your heart. He can use you anytime, anywhere, anyhow. But you got to have a heart to want to do that and not look at the situation that you in, not look at what's going on around you, not what people are saying about you or what they're plotting against you or what they talking about you or they done did some dirty and try to call it clean on you. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Okay? Yes, it's tough. Yes, it don't look good. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it just irritates the crap out of you and you just don't understand why. That don't mean God is not using you. It does not mean God can't use you if your heart has an intention of being used by God. So let's get into Genesis chapter 40. I had to put that in there first because this is an example of what I'm talking about here with Joseph. Now, we just talked about Joseph and how he got set up and got put into prison, even though he didn't do anything wrong. He was doing everything he was supposed to do. And even when Potiphar's wife tried to trick him and try to make him do something that he didn't want to do, instead of her just backing up and leaving him alone, she dug in even deeper and tried to make it look like he came after her when it was her trying to do that the whole time, trying to get him. Next thing you know, now he's in prison. So here we are in chapter 40, and now he's now in prison. Understand that not only is he in prison, but he's also a slave. Okay, so he's an imprisoned slave that now has to serve. He has to watch over and serve other prisoners, meaning the cupbearer and the baker. Now they got put in prison because they tried. The Bible didn't say exactly what they did, but they did something, and Pharaoh wasn't happy, and he put them in prison. Okay, so that's where we at right now. Babe, you got something real quick? I'm sorry, I'm running. So you got anything? You there, babe? There. Uh-oh, think I lost her. So well, let me keep going. So now Joseph is in charge of these two gentlemen, the cupbearer and the baker. And as the Bible reads on, you back, babe? You okay? Uh-oh. Well, she must have stepped away. I'm sorry, guys. I can't really see her. But anyway, because my camera's not working, but I know she's there. But nevertheless, let me keep going. And so, okay, thanks, Marie. I appreciate that. Thank you for keeping me abreast of what's going on. Okay, but so Joseph, like I said, he's in prison and he's watching over. And so these two gentlemen end up having a dream. Okay, they both have a dream, and when Joseph see them after they done had this dream, he can tell something's not right with them, right? And because something not right with them, he says, "Okay, what's going on, guys?" And so they basically say, "Hey, we had this dream, but we don't have nobody to interpret it." And Joseph tells them, "Hey, look, interpretation that all comes from God anyway. All that belongs to God, right? And so, let me know what your dream is, because Joseph can help them, because again, God's hand is on Joseph. Joseph is given the gift to be able to interpret their dream. Okay, so that's the first thing right there I want to talk about. Is like, look, some people not gonna like what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. You do not need to go to no psychic. You don't need to go to no fortune teller. You don't need to go to no medium. You just need to seek God. God will show you and tell you exactly what you need to know and what you need to hear. You just go see them. And guess what? It ain't gonna cost you no money. You can keep your money in your pocket. God will give you the interpretation of your dream free of charge. Okay? Now you just gotta be willing to hear it and receive it, because I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that everything is gonna always be good that you receive. But again, understand those dreams that you have, sometimes you're going to get interpretation up front. You can, and sometimes you might not. You might get it later on. But the interpretation, as Joseph said, it comes from God. Okay? And so Joseph let the guys know, hey, I got you. Okay? Because the interpretation comes from God. God is using me to be able to interpret your dreams. So they tell him his dream, their dreams, right? So the cupbearer tells the dream, and Joseph tell him the interpretation of the dream. I'm always tell you, go read it for yourself. Don't rely on me to tell you what everything about chapter 40. Go read whatever we talk about on here on Thursdays. Go read it for yourself. So go read chapter 40. But the interpretation of the dreams, he gives them the interpretation, and the cupbearer feeling pretty good about that. And the baker hears the dream, the interpretation of the dream from that Joseph gave the cupbearer. So now he's feeling good. He's like, okay, all right. So now he's not as intimidated or scared to tell Joseph his dream. Okay, so he goes and tells Joseph. Now the baker gives Joseph his dream, and unfortunately, the outcome for him was not the same. The outcome of the dream was not the same as the cupbearer, and so that got me thinking here in another way is that, look, you being used by God in whatever manner He chooses to use you does not mean that it's going to always be good or fun or easy. It's going to be some of that too, but sometimes, especially if you're a leader, and I'm pretty much talking to everybody that's listening to me right now. In some way, shape, or form, you are a leader. Whether you're a mentor, you're a parent, you are a godparent, grandparent, you're a leader on your job, you're a coach in some way, whatever, fill in the blank. Chances are you have been in a leadership position some way, somehow, or somebody looks at you as a leader in some way, shape, or form, right? You as a leader, understand, sometimes you're going to have those tough conversations that's not fun. You're going to have to give people some hard truths that they are not going to embrace or be happy to be told. That's part of being a leader. That's also part of being used by God. When you're being used by God, He's going to have you do some things that's going to put you in an uncomfortable situation. But He also can make you comfortable. He can make you comfortably uncomfortable, making sure that you have a charge to do what He has called you to do, and means you're going to have to deliver a message sometimes that's not going to be well received, and is also not going to be well received because the people that you tell it to, or even some other folk, they even know that what you're doing, looking at you as a leader, they don't understand what God is doing. They don't understand the big picture. They don't understand what's happening behind the scenes. So of course, they're not going to be in agreement with it. Of course, they're not going to be excited about it because they simply don't know and understand what is going on. But you, through your relationship with God, know what's going on because there's a peace that comes with you doing what He called you to do. And sometimes that does not mean you're going to have to deliver a good message. And sometimes you will. In this case with Joseph, he was able to give the cupbearer a good message, a good interpretation of the dream. But unfortunately, on the flip side, the baker didn't get a good interpretation of the dream. And as the Bible goes on to read, it eventually came to pass. Exactly what happened in the dream is exactly what happened on Pharaoh's birthday, 3 days later. Okay? 3 days after the dream, Pharaoh's birthday, exactly what took place in those dreams and the interpretation that Joseph gave them is exactly what happened. And so sometimes we have to, as leaders, have to give tough truths. We have to give tough messages. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to make you feel good that you have to deliver it. But there's a peace that comes with it as well. And there's a couple more things I want to say. Baby, are you back? I want to
Yeah,
make sure because I like.
I'm back.
Okay, you okay?
Yes.
No, you're just coughing there a little bit. But do you have something you wanted to say before?
No, go ahead. You're doing great.
Okay, okay. So I want to tell you this. I want to tell you this. Is that please understand. So when you're being used by God, that means three things. Three things it means. One, you're in His will, which means you're also under His protection. So when you are doing His will, even though it's tough, it's not easy. You out there by yourself. People hating on you. They calling you out your name. They doing all. You are not liked. And then in some cases you loved. Okay, I don't want to paint the picture like it's always bad. No, you doing what God called you to do sometimes is real good. like me being here on Thursday night. This is real good. I enjoy this. I'm thankful that he allows me to do this every Thursday. Both of us. He allows us to do this on Thursday. I'm thankful for that. I enjoy this. But that also means sometimes as a leader, sometimes I'm in a position that I have to deliver messages that is not going to be well liked. It's not going to be well received. But if God has called me to do it, and I'm doing it with the right intentions, I'm doing it with the right heart, and I'm doing what he has called me to do, the way he has called me to do it, then there's a peace that comes with that, and it leaves me to be comfortably uncomfortable in those situations. So I can make it through. You can make it through. Why? Because again, you in his will. You are in his will, which means you are under his protection. Another reason why it's when being used by God, it means that you, let me slow down. I'm getting excited. You are and will be blessed simply because you're doing what he called you to do. You doing what he telling you to do. You probably being blessed through it, and there's a really big chance you're gonna be blessed on the other side of it as well. So there's a blessing that comes with you doing what he called you to do. And the third thing, the third reason why being used by God, what it means to be used by God, it means you're also making a difference. You making a difference. Who do not want to make a difference in somebody's life? I believe we all in some way, shape, or form want to make a difference. We want to make a positive difference. And so being used by God comes with some benefits, but it also comes with some tough moments as well. So I don't want to sit here and act like what Joseph went through was easy, because also understand this. He was enslaved. He was a prisoner, wrongfully imprisoned, okay? But yet, despite it all, he still allowed God to use him. And there's one other point I got to make real quick. I told y'all this chapter 40 was all over me. I'm sorry. But also there was when Joseph gave the cupbearer the interpretation of the dream, he told the cupbearer, hey, when you get back with Pharaoh, make sure you mention my name to Pharaoh, because Joseph wanted the cupbearer to say something to Pharaoh to try to get himself out of prison. He wanted to remind Pharaoh, hey, I'm here. I need to be, don't forget about me, man. Get me up out of this joint, man, because I'm really not even supposed to be here because I was wrongfully convicted. But the Bible will tell you at the very end, the cupbearer forgot all about Joseph, because the cupbearer's dream was a good dream. It came to pass. He gets out of prison. He's restored back to what he was doing. So he's happy. He's satisfied. He forgets all about Joseph. So then why you get mad when somebody forget about you? Don't get mad. Please know and understand God knows what's going on. He sees what's going on. He know all about where you at, especially because you in his will. You doing exactly what he told you to do. He know what's going on. Joseph couldn't leave there at that time. That's the reason why God blocked the cupbearer from remembering about Joseph when he went to speak to Pharaoh. God blocked that. So that doesn't mean just because you're doing God's will or you're doing what God called you to do that your situation is going to instantaneously change. Sometimes you're going to have to stay right where you at. But don't think God don't know where you at. Don't think he's not taking care of you, because he is. He took care of Joseph even though he was an enslaved and he was a slave and then he was in prison. God knew all about that. He knew exactly where Joseph was at. He knew what was going on with Joseph. He knew everything about Joseph. And nothing happened to Joseph. And we're going to learn more about Joseph. But the point that I want you to understand that don't look at your current situation. Don't look at what's happening around you. You keep doing what God has called you to do. He's going to bless you. He know what's going on. You in his will, which means you got protection, and you're going to be just fine. And you're going to also continue to make a difference. Don't forget that. Just know that. Hang your hat on that. So it's okay to be used by God, because it is just going to benefit you, and you're going to also be a blessing to somebody else. But in some cases, you're going to have to give some tough truths as well. So, have you got anything?
No, I guess just to sum it up too, well, in this story, I mean, I see Jesus in this story. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying, I see how, Joseph became a servant just like Jesus became a servant. He was
Mm-hmm.
to serve,
Yes.
and though he was
Yes.
the Son of Man, he said, I've come here not to be served, but to serve. And that's
Yeah.
how Joseph did. And I also
Yeah.
see the betrayal and the rejection that
Mm-hmm.
Jesus experienced from his own people and disciples and etc. And with the cupbearer forgetting about
Mm-hmm.
Joseph and
Yep.
all of that. So
Yep.
I just see Jesus all up in the story. But that's
Absolutely.
all I have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which means that's so why are we tripping when we have to go through what we go through? Why are we tripping? Because sometimes we make the situation worse because we start tripping off of what's happening or what's not happening, as if God don't know what's going on, as if Christ is not involved. He know what's going on. I know it's not always easy. Now, I'm not sitting here acting like, look, I'm not pointing fingers. Trust me. I'm Ron, this talking to Ron too. Okay? This talking to Ron too. But just know that when you're doing what God has called you to do, it's all going to work out for your good. It's going to work out for your good. Even though it might not be working out at this very moment, it's still all working out for your good. And we're going to keep going through it, and we're going to keep talking about Joseph, because there's more to learn. There's more to understand. But just your current situation right now, you stay focused on Christ. You stay focused on what he's calling you to do, and you keep making a difference. That's all we got. You got anything else, babe?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, we're going to sign out. Thank you for listening. Again, we're going to be back, Lord willing. Creek don't rise. We'll be back next Thursday to make it do what it do again. And so you stay blessed, stay focused, keep pushing, respect your grind. Stay on your grind, okay?
All right.
He got you. Just know and believe that he has you under his covering. You're going to be just fine. All right? Pray, plan, prepare, proceed. Go make it do what it do. We're going to see you next week.
Amen.
Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
All right.
All right.